Simon, welcome back. Last time you were with us, we started to explore, open the lid on creativity in terms of what it actually is, which probably was a bit of an eye-opener for many, how it can work in our organisations, how it doesn't work in our organisations. But now we're going to try and look in some of the more practical stuff. So as what I would say, like, normal real life humans that get trapped in patterns, trapped in behaviours, where can we go to be more creative, to have some of those sparks? Where would you take us?
Great questions. So I'm going to select like 3. I've actually got a book that I've not published yet. It wasn't meant to be a push, but of 366-ish random things to do that'll take you slightly out of your comfort zone. I wrote it over a space of like a year and a half, just as and when I could add something else to it. I've not done them all yet either. But I'll give you sort of 3 quick examples that genuinely can really shift your mindset really quickly.
Amazing.
And that's shifting a mindset is a huge part of creativity. It's one of the key parts of it, which is curiosity, getting yourself out of your way of thinking, realizing there are other people around you, getting you out of your bubble, etc. So yeah, I'll give you 3 quick ideas for you. So the first one is wear a different pair of socks. So for some people, wearing the right pair of socks, i.e. matching socks, is almost a religious experience. They have to do it every day. I'm looking at you, and
I've got yesterday's socks on as the confession because I only brought one pair with me.
There we go. Sorry. It doesn't have to necessarily be wear odd socks. For you, it could be, right, you have to force yourself now for a week to wear the right socks in inverted commas. i.e. give yourself a different experience with your sock-based game. Already, that is going to make you think differently about these people that do those things on a regular basis. So for you, if you have to wear odd socks or a different pair of socks you wouldn't ordinarily wear for the day out, you're already going to be in a different headspace. Whether that's at the office, whether that's going for a walk, whether it's just being around the house, occasionally you'll catch your socks and be like, wearing weird socks. And that's a really good thing for your brain to do, to get used to seeing and like sort of zapping you out of that normal comfort zone. It's really quick, it's really simple. And it's just a reminder of like thinking about things differently.
I've got this like weird like friend scenario of like sort of a Joey and Chandler like, hey, nice socks. Walking past a mirror, hey girl.
Exactly. So yeah, absolutely. You can catch yourself in a mirror. That's another good point. Catching yourself in a mirror and forgetting that you've done this to yourself. You're wearing the socks you weren't expecting. Exactly. I often wear sounds like a weird confusion. I often wear the right socks. I use the word right. I don't often wear non-matching socks. So when I do, like, I go extreme. I go ankle sock and sports sock all the way up.
That'd feel funny. Like that'd be a texture experience.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be ready for. No.
You can take
it's
it
like
to
avocado,
you can take it to the extremes that you want. It needs to be small steps, but yeah, it's a really good way to challenge yourself without too much burden. So that's one. The next one is one I recommended to you a few weeks ago, which is go for a walk, but do something different on that walk. So either go in a different direction, go on a street that you've walked past all the time, pop into a shop that you've walked past a million times but never gone in. All these things are just resetting and getting your brain better at realizing that it doesn't understand the world as you think it does. It's as simple as turning down this different street and you see houses you didn't expect to see there. These people have different lives to you. It's part of critical thinking. It's a bit of meditative thinking. It's a way to kick your brain and get better at realizing that you need to think about things differently. And it's a good way to get out of your headspace. And then the third one I'll suggest is ask for recommendations. So either ask for recommendations from someone that you really like or someone that you don't really care about too much, and take their recommendation. Whether it's for films, whether it's for music, you don't have to enjoy what it is that they've suggested to you. It's just about accepting it and actually taking it and fully embracing it. At the end of it, if you've listened to something you don't like or you've watched something you don't like, you still can have new thoughts. But it's probably something you wouldn't have watched or listened to had you gone down the algorithm or just whatever was supplied to you by Netflix, etc. And again, it's another good way of like zapping your brain and opening your eyes to different things that you wouldn't have otherwise.
But those two things, like, in fact, obviously we had a conversation, and then me and Nikki's my wife, we started this competition about who can walk the different ways. And what happens is we now come home and go, I've just found these houses. Did you know there's horses? And we live in a little village, and everyone will say that our village is just one street, but it's not. And we've sort of tried to find that world behind it. And then Like Nikki's now changing her work and she's expanding and changing what she's doing. So now we've started messing with like what our actual routine is. You know, we've always got up at the same time. We've always done the same things. We've always finished work at the same time. But now, like Nikki's getting up at 5 and I'm getting up at 7:45. But I'm still working at 7:30, 9 o'clock because all of a sudden, like my brain feel like it functions then. And so we're trying to like test those patterns and challenge those patterns because the stories that we've always told ourselves aren't.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes they're just bloody wrong.
Yeah.
And like even recording these podcasts, Patrick, who has done one of our early podcasts, as part of his ask for coming on, he said, I'm going to send you a link to Spotify. Like, listen to this album. Do the best you can to listen to it. And I literally was like, oh God. Like, I listen to Girls Aloud and Celine Dion. Like, anything out of that is just, it's a really different space for me. And I spent the time listening to it. And I was like, I just don't understand what I'm listening to. And it wasn't, the prompt was never actually about that. It was about the fact that you don't know what you don't know and you don't understand what you don't know. And that our ability to stay safe can constrain like what we do and where we go.
Yeah. And not to get on to like even deeper things, but there is a problem in society on a wider, in my opinion, on a wider scale in that we are all too comfortable being comfortable. As soon as you see something you don't like, we'll revert and go find the space that we do like.
Yeah.
And actually that's why we're getting more polarized because it's very easy to be comfortable in today's societies in the digital world because you can go and hide in those places that you feel comfortable. But if you're not having the conversations or you're not reading people's different points of view, etc., that's going to carry on and you're just going to be shouting at people. And so part of creativity is the ability to accept that you don't know all of these things and you're going to explore it and be curious and genuinely curious. It comes back to the Zeitfleisch thing, which I talked about, which is go and do the work, go and do it. You won't enjoy a lot of it.
Yeah.
It'll be hard, but it's going to be transformational. And only if you really want it to be transformational, will it be transformational. You don't just do it for the sake of it. Do it because you think it's valuable and you want to go and do that. Because you probably won't recognize yourself at the end of it. You'll have forgotten the person that was comfortable and you'll be comfortable in something else.
And so a lot of that resonates with me. And as part of it, this might be quite a trivial example, but like I do a lot of keynotes. Like I go and speak at conferences and I will go to a conference, I'll do the work and then I'll leave because I don't like conferences. Like I don't like a room of 200 people. I don't like chatting. Like I don't like so much of the stuff. And part of it was because the routine I was in, but also part of the expectations. And then there's this world and moment when I was like, what happens if you went not as a speaker? And you turn up as an average person whose name isn't in a brochure, so you don't have to explain what you've done. You can just be like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. What do you want to get from today? And not be a person. And I've done like a few conferences, and whilst I still I get limited joy, I blame it on my low social battery. But actually, I think maybe it's just not a space for me. Yeah. But it's changed my learning. It's changed how I engage with like certain topics and certain ways of doing because I was like, change your role, like go in as somebody else. Yeah. Rather than like poster girl, and it's fundamentally changed how I think I learn now.
I think that's a great example. Fully adopt it. It's not about getting it right. It's not about having the perfect outcome. It's about doing it. And the more you do something, the more you put yourself into different scenarios that you not ordinarily wouldn't have done. The better you'll get at that. The better you'll get at getting the understandings and the learnings, and the better you'll know which bits you don't like, which bits you do like. And not liking something is fine.
Yeah.
Coming away from something going, I didn't like that. That's great. It's great. It's great to know that you didn't like something.
But not knowing is a bit.
But not knowing is, again, it comes back to only if you really want it. I don't want to force creativity down someone's throat.
But you will be creative.
And that, unfortunately, that comes back to the question about companies. If they bring me in, and it's not been sold in, it's not true. And I'm sat there talking to 20 people who were secretly in their minds thinking, this company is the least creative place I've ever existed. I can feel it in my bones when I'm not speaking truth to people who also are listening to it and thinking, this is garbage. This is really not the right place for me to be, and listen to this sort of stuff. So it's, you have to want it. You have to want to adopt more creativity. And it's about doing that work, about doing that stuff. So if you're not happy at the moment, if you're a bit, if you're not happy with where you are in your current space, in the current world, take this moment to think about that and start doing those small little things. And slowly but surely, you might see some change. I'm not going to promise everything, but challenge your perspectives. And then you can become more creative in thinking about things and find solutions.
So let's take some action and see where it goes.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for coming back, Simon. Lovely to have you, and we will definitely see you soon.
Thank you.